We're going to talk about Egypt today. So let's get right into it. You know, people see the pyramids often as just being these megalithic structures that are just sitting above the ground, and someone took Lego blocks of stone and stacked them up, and boom, magically we just have this pyramid. It's not quite that simple. You see, the pyramids are incredible, gigantic, multi-function stone computers and machines. These pyramids are not built by static blocks that were just cut out of a quarry miles away and then somehow just rolled across tree logs up to the site and just dropped into place. It's a lot more sophisticated than that. The ancients knew all about manifestation. They knew about molding and creating realities. They understood frequency and vibration, and they understood how to build living structures. Yes, the pyramid itself and the surrounding temples are actually alive. Let's take a look at the Great Pyramid. These stone structures have an incredible way of energizing you, transmitting energy and information to you, and giving you epiphanies that you never thought of or could even perceive without being there. And that's why everyone's journey, ultimate journey, usually is towards Egypt and these pyramids and temples. We have to move into the spiritual realm. We have to move into the realm of manifestation, frequency, vibration, understanding, geometry, mathematics, spirituality. All those come together to build these amazing structures. Let's talk about some more of the esoteric, okay? Underneath this Great Pyramid structure is a megalithic underground site, an incredible underground area. And this underground area is so massive and so complex, it rivals the Burj Khalifa. Not only does it rival the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, which is the tallest building in the world, by the way, you can fit 6 Burj Khalifas underneath the bedrock at Giza. The pyramid is literally just the tip of the iceberg as to what's going on underground. It's mind-boggling what they were able to build. Columns that are megalithic underneath the granite, underneath the bedrock, going down up to 2 miles into the earth, with these spirals going down the outside of these gigantic columns, which might be some type of coil. I don't believe they're staircases because that would be illogical. It would be more efficient to just build a ladder system that would go straight down instead of walking around a megalithic column going down for miles, and there's 6 of them. And then on top of that, there's these magnificent boxes. We don't know what they're made out of, deep beneath the earth. Each one, based on the cubic meters, can hold about 64,000 people. It's mind-boggling. And we had a chance to go beneath the bedrock. Some people went to the subterranean chamber beneath the Great Pyramid. We walked up the Grand Gallery, hiking inside the pyramid into the King's Chamber. Let me give you a sneak peek of that journey here, going up the Grand Gallery area, heading into the actual King's Chamber. Check this out. I'm just trying to capture everybody for video purposes. So we have something for them. I'm utilizing my point of view meta glasses to capture this. Makes it easy to keep my hands mind-blowing, holding on to something so I can keep myself stable.
What side? Go check, man. You learn to run it back, huh?
Oh yeah.
You gotta hold steady, man. Hold steady. I got this.
About 20 yards, keep your head low. For most people, it's a pretty brutal climb. You can't see the actual angle there, but it's a pretty steep climb up for several football fields.
Welcome to the Billy Boot Camp. Keep your knees up. Keep those knees up. A little bit of knowledge, a little bit of fortitude. You know? All those carbs. You catching on now. Plant these carbs.
Having a good time hiking inside the pyramids. All right, you did it. Come on. All right, sir. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I can't believe you got me.
Come on, brother.
75.
Hey, man, you doing it, brother.
Bam.
75 is the new 50.
Yes.
Stay low, stay low.
You got this, Willie. Right through these doors, Willie. You're done. Right through these doors.
William's up here. Come on, man.
Willie up here.
Come on, William. Come on, brother. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Good job, Willie.
I'm gonna need a second here.
Go ahead.
Take your time.
Take a second.
Good job.
Come on, Quinn.
Thanks.
Good job.
Proud of you.
You stand up right here.
You gotta stay low.
Stand up.
Yeah. There's the middle part you can stand up for a minute. Great time there, taking one of the groups up into the King's Chamber. You saw us inside the Grand Gallery. What's amazing about these structures is they're very healing structures. And if you have any pains or injuries, you saw William. William is a former military veteran that had, went into service for the United States, and unfortunately, due to being in war, had some severe back and knee injuries as well as lung damage. And he was really concerned whether he can even do this tour because of the lung damage and the injury to his knees and his back. He actually canceled the trip, and then months later, rebooked and said, "No, I'm going to do it." And he came, and the healing energy from these ancient sites and temples allowed him to manifest his dream, which was to be able to hike these temples and go up into these pyramids. And he did it. These temples and pyramids are living entities that have healing properties. They're also multifunctional stone machines. But your ability to access those higher functions is based purely on your level of knowledge. Isn't that like a metaphor for life? Isn't that a metaphor for manifesting our reality? When you understand that your ability to manifest could be based on your level of spiritual ascension, your level of spiritual wisdom, how much understanding you have of the quantum field, and how the energy that you put out and how you know how to make that reflect back to you like a boomerang. Your ability to access the manifestation capabilities and the power that's within you already is based on your level of knowledge on how to access and utilize the energy. It's not that you don't have the machine, you don't have the consciousness, it's already there. What you need is to learn the ability on how to access those higher levels, those higher functions that you can activate and make use in your life right now today. Let's take a look inside the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. I'm in there right now. I'm standing inside of the King's Chamber inside of the Great Pyramid in Giza. This is an amazing place. Let's take a look real quick. These gigantic, megalithic granite blocks. You still can't put a human hair in between them. You can't put a credit card in between them. It's incredible how this stood the test of time. I'm standing inside a fusion chamber, and the evidence of this is this stone box, rose red box where the Ark of the Covenant used to sit, and now you see this damage. At one point, there was an penetrating explosion in here. This huge chunk flew off, and it went right across the room and smashed into the area back here. Just a chunk of the wall. You can even see the impacts that they fall back there. Flying about maybe about 30 to 40 feet away from the granite box itself. So what is this? When the water meandered away from the Great Pyramid and the aquifers dried up, they needed a second way to generate power. So what they did was they added this Lord's granite box thousands of years later to put the Ark of the Covenant, which was a technological device, a power generator, to help continue to power all of Egypt. All right, so I'm standing inside the fusion part of that megalithic giant machine. It does healing. It does fusion. It calculates the movement of the planet. It calculates the movement of stars. It calculates the movement of the galaxy itself. It aligns with planetary constellations, planets and constellations, and it transmits information to those areas of space-time, depending on the orientation and the precession of the equinox. It does so many things, I can't even count how many things it can do. It's a beacon. It's a location. It's a marker, right, for arriving in ancient times, for arriving ancient civilizations to this planet. There's just so many things that it can do. It's a power generator to send wireless energy into the atmosphere that can be picked up and collected by granite magnetized crystal obelisks that then can transmit that to jets, down cables to electrical devices. All these things were happening in the ancient past. But again, if you're a culture that now has lost the knowledge over time, the main thing you will remember is healing. So that's why all these sites, people travel, they flock to these ancient sites for the healing powers that are there, because that's the base fundamental purpose, and the base fundamental result is healing. And then there are many levels even above that. For the healing part, you don't need to have too much higher levels of knowledge. You just need to be within the vicinity and have the knowledge to know that these sites have healing capabilities. You know, the walls of Dendera at the Temple of Hathor and the Temple of Luxor as well, they show resonant maps that highlight how energy interacts with matter. I mean, come on. This is something we're just learning in the 21st century, but the ancients taught this millennia ago. And they showed us that they knew this because they actually put it on the walls for us to see. They put it in stone. And they are showing us a metaphor with the pyramids, which is the fire in the middle, which is what pyramid means, that our mind is a modern pyramid, and that it's built from intention, precision, and alignment. That the pyramid itself is not only a metaphor or an archetype of planet Earth, but it's also a metaphor and archetype of the human consciousness. And when the ancients spoke of Ra, they were referring to the light within the human mind, the same divine frequency that actually fuels what? Manifestation. Let me show you a couple more pictures here. Let me look up into my little archive and show you some amazing sights. Here I am standing on the outside of the Great Pyramid. Someone caught this candid photo of me just standing there looking up. I have Thoth across my chest, the Atlantean priest king that ruled over ancient Kemet before it was called Egypt for 16,000 years, according to the ancient Egyptians. So to build this pyramid, over 2 million blocks of stone were not harvested from a giant mountain 100 miles away, cut out into specific size blocks and brought over there. No, it can't happen like that, because the stones are interlocking pieces of a puzzle. You're looking at a 2 million piece interlocking puzzle, and it means that each individual stone had to be cut specifically for the location that it's set in. So you can't pre-cut them. You have to cut them on the fly in some amazing way. They must be able to fit and interlock to hold the structure together and allow all the intricate and sophisticated shafts and chambers that are hidden on the inside. This takes planning. It takes knowledge. And they knew that when it was complete, every single individual function would work specifically and exactly as they needed it and wanted it to. That's power. And that's the same power we all have. We were in here teaching about the weathering, and we were showing that the erosion of the stone inside the Sphinx enclosure is like reading a book. We literally travel backwards in time to a global disaster that melted an ice sheet and sent water flooding down from Syria all the way down through Egypt, moving from the west to the east. And we show the water flow, and we show the erosion over many hundreds of years of time, showing that the entire Giza plateau at one time was completely submerged in water. And there are evidence of this because there are shells and other evidence of fossilized crustaceans within the sand. Talking about that, it proves, just looking and seeing it and holding this evidence in your hand, It proves that the time frame that they've given that the Sphinx was built is irrational and illogical. It's a total farce. This object that we're looking at here, that we're sitting in front of, most likely was built 2 processional periods prior. We're talking about 36 to 38,000, maybe even 40,000 years ago is when this object was built out here at Giza. It's super ancient. It was built right around the same time that Thoth claims to have written the Emerald Tablets. No coincidence there that the geological evidence backs up the writings of Thoth, the ancient Atlantean priest king. Now, beneath this object, there are many channels and tunnels and massive objects. Just as was stated by Edgar Cayce, the famous sleeping prophet, and also talked about in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. He claims that there's a massive object which was discovered using LiDAR scans beneath, about a mile deep beneath the Sphinx's paw. There's a massive opening area with a massive object down there. There are tunnels that we showed them live and in living color in person. All of these people, there's nearly 100 people there with us. We let them look down inside the tunnels underneath the Sphinx, tunnels that go on for hundreds of miles beneath the plateau. All there, just as was written about in the ancient text. What is this thing? It's a marker facing the constellation of Leo, facing the sunrise over the Sphinx's paw, and leading the way to the origins and the birthplace of some of these ancient beings. Thoth specifically ruled over the constellation of Leo, which is why the Sphinx is pointing in that direction. And the original face of the Sphinx was not a lion. It was the face of Thoth the Atlantean. Much later, after his kingship ended and he went on to rule over Mesoamerica as Kukulkan or Lord Pakal, Quetzalcoatl, various different names, Marduk, also known as Amun-Ra, recarved the face of the Sphinx to his son's face. So that's Thoth's nephew's face. It was never a lion. But the evidence is conclusive. The geological evidence, which can be verified and validated, and has been validated specifically by Dr. Robert Schoch, who takes it back to at least 13,500 years, at least. And he's a real geologist and a real professor at a university. It is an amazing anomaly built here at Giza. It most likely had a second Sphinx across facing it, because they usually do Sphinxes in 2s, not 1, not single, but doubles. And there are tunnels underneath it that lead on for potentially hundreds of miles underneath the plateau. And there's a massive object beneath the Sphinx, just as stated in ancient text. Massive. There's a hole in the back of the Sphinx's head, which is covered up now. They put some stonework there to cover it, which led to a butterfly staircase that goes down inside the chest, and where the big stela is, the granite stela in front of the chest, there's an opening that used to open up there. And there's an ancient papyrus where Thoth, you see him landing on the back of the Sphinx, coming out of this flying object. He goes into the back of the head and comes out through the chest to greet the people. Okay? This is a great monument to Thoth, also known as Ningishzida in the ancient Sumerian tablets. You know, here are one of our incredible Tories. She's having a great time sitting here meditating in front of the Sphinx's paw. Something that you'll just never be able to do unless you're on a forbidden tour. And here we have a few of them. You know, they're literally just taking the energy of the paw of the Sphinx. And again, just an incredible sight. We're talking about a manifestation of a structure that was more than just an icon or a landmark. It's a manifestation of someone's ability to foresee the future. Why build something so megalithic if you're only going to rule for a certain amount of time? It's a time capsule sent forward to us to sustain and maintain earthquakes, wars, storms, flooding, you name it. It's still here, an icon from the past to let us know how magnificent these ancients were. They sent us a message into the future in stone with hidden secrets within it to let us know, hey, We were here, we were sophisticated, and we manifested a golden age. And you have the same capability to manifest a golden age right here, right now. There's two levels of manifestation that we can create a golden age. One is within our own lives. We can manifest our own internal golden age. We can reach a certain level of peace and tranquility within ourselves, a certain level of what they call Zen. So you can inhabit a golden age, or a golden age can actually inhabit you physically within your own body and your conscious mind. And then the secondary golden age is once enough people manifest that truth inside of themselves, then it will manifest on the outside. When we get enough people on that frequency collectively, we can then manifest a golden age on the outside. We can't manifest on the outside what's not on the inside. So until we reach that level of peace on the inside, the peace on the outside will not synchronize with what we want. You know, Thoth claims to have built the Great Pyramid as well as the Sphinx. He was ordered to build the Sphinx by his father, Enki. And Thoth said, as above, so below, as within, so without. The temples of Egypt embody this truth. We're talking about having this inner world then show up on the outer world. Part of the reprogramming that we do in the academy. Because you will only see outside of you what's churning on the inside. If you've got chaos going on the outside, you've got chaos on the inside. If you've got peace and tranquility manifesting around you, you've got peace and tranquility on the inside. Your inner world is going to reflect your outer world, and that collectively, as a whole, 8 billion people are manifesting this reality on this planet. So you see wars and genocides and slavery still happening, like in Libya, and oppression, and all these other things going on, these crazy situations happening all around the world, extreme poverty, and of course, then you also see wealth and manifestation and abundance, right? You see love and kindness and assistance and all these other great things. So we have this dichotomy of good and evil, light and dark, yin and yang. What we see, though, is there is a slight off balance right now, where darkness is slightly overdoing the light, the good. We need more people leveraging alchemy to bring positivity, light, abundance, manifestation, love, assistance, service to others back to the forefront so that we can shift and push the darkness back down again. We can't eliminate darkness. That's impossible. You cannot rid the universe of evil. We're not trying to eradicate evil. We're only trying to learn how to control it. It's a fundamental principle law of the universe, but light always supersedes darkness. So we want to bring back the light, and we want to suppress as much of the darkness as we possibly can. It'll be a lifelong, eternal battle. We cannot eliminate or eradicate darkness. We can only learn how to control it. It's about doing inner work, going and doing the shadow work within ourselves. That's how we begin to create the reality that we seek. Going into the dark spaces and dealing with it. Finding things that we've done and learning how to forgive ourselves for those things so that we can move on and get to the next level, and learning from our past mistakes. That's the inner work. That's how you push the darkness down and let the light to rise, and then you become the lighthouse on the shoreline for others to see. And then you guide them in, you see? That's what it's all about. We had a phenomenal dinner at the Temple of Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut was a female who ruled as a king, an actual pharaoh, for 20 years. She was able to accomplish this by claiming that, according to her, her father was not a mortal being, but one of the actual Netiru, or the Anunnaki. And because of that divine nature, and I guess her political prowess, she was able to eventually rule as an actual pharaoh and got accepted by the Egyptians. She ruled for 20 years, and Egypt thrived under her kingship. And she built this amazing temple where we had this amazing dinner. It was so fitting. Here is a video clip, of us walking into the Temple of Hatshepsut and getting some knowledge from Muhammad Ibrahim.
Baby,
I want you, maybe this is the right time to explain it. In your way in or out, make sure to see that part where the door used to be two sides, okay?
An incredible clip there. See the size of that doorway we're all walking through. Look how beautifully everyone is dressed. Inside this ancient temple, here's a photo I took inside the Temple of Hebjetset. You have to realize that this temple was a result of them terraforming a mountain. They literally took away half of a mountain to build this temple in this location. The spot where I'm standing here and even further out was all part of the mountain. They literally just removed a mountain. I mean, where's the excavation material at? It's not even around anywhere in the area. It's mind-boggling how they did this. It really is mind-boggling. And here's a great photo of us all together, all 95 of us standing in front of the Temple of Hebjetset, all dressed up nice for our red carpet dinner that we were about to have. What an amazing, beautiful sight. We had a dinner in front of this incredible, incredible monument.
Did you see the movie?
Here where we were sitting and getting ready to dine, the chefs and the servers and
To my right, your right.
and everything. That was all part of the mountain range that was just chopped and hacked away
Yes.
and turned into this flattened courtyard area, having this amazing dinner right in front of the Temple of Hebjetset, sitting on ancient sacred land. We had a great time. And while we were on stage, something incredible happened. My second time this happened to me while in Egypt. I'm on stage with Muhammad and we're talking and something is flying across the screen from left to right, right above our heads, which was caught by 8 cell phone cameras that were recording us speaking on stage over the dinner. Okay? You can see it moving very slowly as this has been put into slow motion. I'm going to do a zoom in on this as well for you. The object is not an ice particle. It's not a shooting star. And why? Because it moves from the left going upward, and then it kind of reaches an arcing point, and then it kind of takes a dip downward. It's covering the horizon from horizon to horizon at an extremely high rate of speed. It's probably moving close to 2,000 miles an hour from my estimation, just understanding aerospace, which I've studied for decades, okay? It changes its trajectory twice in this one shot, which means it's being artificially controlled. And it's huge and massive because you can see it at a great distance. At that distance, it should be, here it goes again in a larger zoom in. I'll show it again as well. At that distance that we are from this particular object, it has to be massive for us to see with the naked eye and for a cell phone to actually pick it up. Because as you know, if you take a photo of the sun or the moon with your cell phone, unless you have a Galaxy S25 like I do, you can't really magnify it that much. Imagine an object that would be too small. Usually cell phones can't even pick them up. This is a huge object. Let's play it again. Look at the speed of this thing, and this is in slow motion, super slow motion. Look at the speed of that object, and look at the shift in its angular momentum. One more time. It moves from the lower part upward, it reaches a peak, and then it begins to move downward again towards the end. Incredible, just an incredible sight, caught on 8 cell phones simultaneously. Incredible tour, incredible sight, incredible understanding of manifestation. We were able to correlate the temples and structures to our ability to create our own reality. We were able to correlate the engineering and the high science to our ability to manifest as within, so without. And again, these principles, we had so many epiphany moments. These principles, they can be taught on a much deeper level, on a more consistent level. They're put into a class format, a school module format on the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. So click the link in the caption of this video. or in the bio. And if you want to come on the next Forbidden Tour of Egypt, the link is also in the caption, and the link is in my bio as well, to come on the next Forbidden Tour of Egypt. And you can have these amazing experiences with me out in the field in real time. Do real field research, go to active digs, hike inside of pyramids and ancient temples, go inside of hidden doors and chambers, and have great red carpet dinners at ancient sites. And I look forward to seeing you one day on a Forbidden Tour. Peace. Watch this video for free at www.4bk.tv or download the app on your smartphone, Fire Stick app, Samsung TV, Roku, and other app providers.